I'm Roman Yossi of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Dante Fabro of the Nashville Predators.
This is Philip Forsberg of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Colton Sissons of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Eustace Aros of the Nashville Predators.
You're listening to the Renegades of Puck
with Crazy Charlie.
Welcome to the bunker. Welcome to the Renegades of Puck podcast. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. Before we get started with no half-step and hockey coverage, first, let me direct you to our home website, renegadesofpuck.com. Once you go to renegadesofpuck.com, you'll learn everything you need to know about the show. Then, once you're good and educated about the show, you can click on that merchandise tab. Going to take you straight to our classic logo t-shirt and all the different gimmicks you've come to know and love and expect from the Renegades of Puck. They're all still available in our online store, and they always will be. The easiest way to say it is that we've sold out so that you can buy in. So make sure you pick up some Renegades Puck merchandise today. Social media. You can find us on numerous platforms, whatever it is that you prefer. We would just prefer that you interact with us. Find us on Instagram. Find us on Threads. Find us on X and Facebook. You can also find us on TikTok. So again, just search Renegades of Puck in your favorite social media platform today, and that's exactly where you can find us. So you can check out the podcast by going to YouTube and subscribing to our channel, and that is something we would really appreciate if you would go ahead and do. That would be a big help. You can also find the audio podcast on SoundCloud. So again, that's how you can connect with the show. If you'd like to support the show, just drop $1 in our virtual tip jar. You can find that right over here. That's the easiest way to do so. Or just search Renegades of Puck by going to Venmo, but the virtual tip jar is there at any time. You can scan that code. You can drop $1 in or more if you can spare it. We certainly can use it. Independent hockey coverage is not as cheap as it sounds. Now, I know it's time for me to get to the goods. It's time for the No Half Step in Hockey coverage. So it is time for Operation number 914. That is right. It is time for show number 914. And at this moment in hockey history, the Nashville Predators currently find themselves in 7th place in the Central Division. They have a record of 0-3 after 3 games played. They have 0 points, one of the few teams in the league to have 0 points on home ice, which is where their next game will take place. They have a record of 0-2. They've scored 6 goals on the season. They've given up 14. They have a goal differential of -8. Now, leading the Central Division after just the first week of the season is the Dallas Stars, who are 4-0 with 8 points. Then you'll find the Winnipeg Jets with 6 points. Also, the Minnesota Wild, Utah Hockey Club, also with 6 points. Then you'll find St. Louis at 4, Chicago at 3, and then the Predators, only by benefit of the Colorado Avalanche being one of the most ineffective teams in the entirety of the NHL, is the only reason the Predators are avoiding being in 8th and final last place in the Central Division at this time. Now, for the Preds, they're in the middle of a 4-game homestand. This game will take place against the Edmonton Oilers that we're previewing right here. We'll talk Oilers here in just a second. After the Oilers game Saturday, the Preds will host the Detroit Red Wings and wrap up the 2-game regular season series with the Wings. On Tuesday, they'll welcome in the Boston Bruins to close out the 4-game homestand. On Friday in Chicago, Saturday back home to take on the Columbus Blue Jackets. So a very busy week ahead for the Nashville Predators after this Edmonton game. On the 28th of October, they will be in Tampa Bay again. Now, the Preds are about to open up the first of 3 against the Edmonton Oilers this season. The second game will take place on October the 31st. That will be the Nashville Predators hosting the Edmonton Oilers at Bridgestone Arena again. And then they will wrap up the regular season series on November the 14th when the Predators go to Edmonton for their one and only time this season. So the Predators already wrapping up the regular season series with the Wings, and then wrapping up the regular season series against the Western Conference Pacific Division's Edmonton Oilers by November the 14th. Now, for those Edmonton Oilers, 4 games in the book so far, a record of 1-3. All of those games took place on home ice. So we are talking about the Oilers' first venture out onto the road for the season. So the Oilers have 2 points. They are 8th in the Pacific Division, which is last place. I first road game, so they have no record on the road. They have scored 7 goals in the season. They've given up 18. They have a goal differential of -11. Talking about what they've done so far on the schedule this season, they opened it up on October the 9th with a 6-0 loss versus the Winnipeg Jets. On the 12th of October, it was a 5-2 loss versus Chicago Blackhawks on the 13th. So back-to-back games right here. 4-1 loss versus Calgary, and their most recent game was on October the 15th. It was 4-3 overtime win versus the Philadelphia Flyers. Skinner got the start in net, picks up the victory, goes 27 out of 30. Taking a look inside the numbers on the early part of the season, the NHL rankings for this Predators and Oilers matchup, the Preds and the Oilers, neither of these teams are in pretty much any statistical category, metric area that they want to be at this moment of the season. Goals for the Preds are 2.0 per game. That's 29th in the NHL. The Edmonton Oilers are at 1.75 per game. That is 31st in the NHL. The Predators are giving up 4.67 goals per game. That is 31st overall in the league, one spot from the bottom. The Oilers, 2 spots from the bottom at 30th, giving up 4.50 goals per game. Shots for, this is the one bright spot in the stats and the matchup for the Predators. 37 shots on goal per game is best overall in the NHL. Quite a high shot volume, and if it can stay at that high level and the Preds can actually start producing goals, that would be beneficial. Shots for on the Edmonton side of the ledger, 31.3 is 10th best in the NHL. In the shots against category, Edmonton ahead in this one, 4th best in the NHL, only giving up 24.8 shots per game. But the Predators only giving up 25.7 shots per game is 7th best in the league. When it comes to special teams, again, neither team where they want to be at this time. 11.1% conversion rate for the Edmonton Oilers is rated 24th in the NHL on the power play. They are 1 out of 9 on the season. The Predators actually faring a little bit worse than that. 9.1% conversion rate is 27th overall in the NHL. They are 1 out of 11 so far on the season. On the penalty kill, the Preds a little bit better shape. 87.5% kill rate is 10th best in the league. They've only given up 1 power play goal so far this season, while the Edmonton Oilers are struggling shorthanded. 56.3% kill rate is 32nd and last in the NHL, and they have given up 7 power play goals against. 7 power play goals against in just 4 games. Now, when it comes to the individual statistics of the team leaders, not going to be much of a surprise when you hear the names on the side of the Edmonton Oilers, because they have terrorized the Nashville Predators ever since coming into the league and joining forces together. McDavid has 4 assists and 4 total points on the season so far to lead the Oilers. Draisaitl, who actually really kills the Nashville Predators, 2 goals, 1 assist for 3 points on the early part of the season. Skinner's got a goal and 2 assists for 3. Ekholm has a goal and 2 assists for 2 points on the season. And Corey Perry has 1 goal, no assist for 1 point so far on the year. Over on the Nashville Predators side of things, the team leaders, Philip Forsberg, as he did most of the way last year, leads the team in scoring so far this year. 1 goal and 2 assists for 3 total points. Tommy Novak leads the team in goals with 2, no assists so far at this point, so 2 points in total. O'Reilly's got 1 and 1 for 2. Marchessault has no goals but 2 assists for 2 points. And Luke Evangelista, no goals but 2 assists for 2 points as well, to be tied for second on the team in scoring. In net anticipated matchup sees UC Saros getting the start, 0 and 2 on the season, 4.19 goals against average, 8.55 save percentage. Missed the season opener with an injury, has come back and played both games since. And, well, let's face it, the team in front of him has not looked very good, so it's hard to truly evaluate the starting netminder, but those numbers have to improve dramatically and quickly. Skinner, over on the other side of things, he has certainly had this same conversation about him before, and his numbers at the beginning of the season are not stellar. 1 and 2 record, a 4.42 goals against average, 8.45 save percentage. So someone who is struggling is going to pick up a victory in this game for the Preds. Will it be their first victory of the season? Will the Edmonton Oilers continue their dominance over the Nashville Predators as they have the last several seasons? McDavid and Draisaitl have, again, terrorized this Nashville Predators team, whether it's here at Bridgestone Arena or in Edmonton. It hasn't made any difference. Those two have piled up statistics. Got a big one coming up Thursday night for the Nashville Predators, already in closed-door team meeting, canceled practice status after just 3 games into the season. Preds need to turn things around. Expect an aggressive Nashville Predators team to come out. Don't know if that's going to work out or be helpful on the scoreboard, but I expect a frustrated and aggressive Predators team to come out of the locker room to compete against the Oilers on Thursday night. So keep an eye out for that particular caveat to the game. That's going to do it for the preview. Let's go back and talk about what happened with the Nashville Predators versus Seattle Kraken. It's called the Rebirth Sports Full Game Recap, and it is coming up next, and I'm sorry about that. This is the Renegades of Puck podcast.
Hockey players are as unique as the game itself, and your uniform should be tailored to fit you. Rebirth Sports is your sports apparel tailor. From shells, bags, warm-ups, hats, hoodies, branding, and more, let Rebirth Sports be your custom hockey tailor.
And don't forget to tell them they do more than just hockey.
Rebirth Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Rebirth Sport, a match made in hockey.
It's now time for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. We go all the way back to October the 15th, of the year 2024, when the Nashville Predators were back at Bridgestone Arena to take on the Seattle Kraken for the first time this season. Head coach Andrew Burnett deploys his lines and defensemen in the following combinations: Forsberg, O'Reilly, and Nyquist, Smith, Stamkos, and Marchessault. That is a change from the first two games. Jankowski, Novak, and Evangelista. Parsonen makes his first start of the season. McCarron and Sissons are his line mates to start the game. Yossi and Fabro, Luzon and Carrier, Shea and Shen are your defensive pairings. UC Saros gets his second start in a row. We're 53 seconds into the game at Bridgestone Arena, and it is Decord coming with a save on Philip Forsberg's the first shot on goal of the game. 1:37 is when UC Saros checks in for the first time, making a save on Riker Evans. And then at 3:37 of the first period, it's Evans again, but this time he beats Saros, his first goal of the season. The shot actually deflects off of McCarron after a turnover, leads to the scoring opportunity, so the Seattle Kraken break through and are on the board first. The Nashville Predators, for the third consecutive game to start the season, fall behind. 5:49 of the first period now. Decord comes up with a save on Tommy Novak. The 7:07 mark of the first period. Bjorkstrand coming with his first goal of the season. That comes off of a 2-on-1 rush. This gives the Seattle Kraken a 2-0 lead. Now just 7:07 into this game. 7:51 of the first period. It's Decord coming with a save on Fabro. 12:06 of the first period. It's Decord coming with a save on Nyquist at 13:57 of the first period. It's Decord coming with a save on the captain, Roman Yossi. The Predators do break through now at 14:47 of the first period when Michael McCarron gets his first goal of the season. It was a carry a keep in at the blue line. Parsonen with the dish to McCarron for the finish. Yes, it was that line of all-stars on the Nashville Predators that punched through at Bridgestone Arena for the first goal of the game. Carrier, Parsonen, and McCarron getting his first of the season. Seattle still leads 2-1 here in the first period, but only for a couple more minutes, because at 17-minute mark of the first, Tommy Novak is coming with his second goal of the season, because all he does is make plays. This particular play comes to the back door for an empty net finish after Jankowski does the hard work for the setup. This ties the game at 2 apiece. 18:35 of the first period. Saros comes with the save on Alexiak at 19:27 of the first. Tanev gets his first goal of the season. A redirect in the low slot beats UC Saros to give the Seattle Kraken a 3-2 lead. At the 19:59 mark, or after they reset it, seemed like it was going to be right at the end of the period, McCann picks up a penalty, 2 minutes for tripping. That will carry over, obviously, into the second period. So at the end of the first period, it's 3-2 in favor of Seattle. Seattle Kraken also out shooting Nashville 13-12. On the power play that begins with 1:59 seconds remaining on it in the second period, Decord comes up with a save on Marchessault, but that would be it for the Nashville Predators as far as scoring opportunities on this power play. 2:45 of the second period now. Decord comes up with a save on Marchessault. Redirect in the low slot area was a really good, strong scoring chance. Decord going to the hard areas, paying the price, and almost picking up that greasy goal that we've been talking about. A 5:07 mark in the second period. Saros comes with a save on Tanev. 6:04. Saros a save on McCann at the 7:36 mark of the second period. Forsberg off the box, 2 minutes for slashing. Saros would come up with a save on Dunn. Nashville Predators PK would be fairly strong over this sequence. 11:08 mark of the second period now, so it's just halfway through the game. Saros comes up with a save on Bergen. 14:03. Luke Evangelista off the box, 2 minutes for high sticking. UC Saros going to have to do some work right here, coming with a save first on Eberle and then on Burakovsky, and then finally a save on Beniers. So UC Saros doing a good job. The penalty kill bending but not breaking for the Nashville Predators. 17:07 mark in the second period. We see an interesting play behind the play as Cartier and Marchessault are off the box each. First, it was a boarding penalty. Then Marchessault got up and defended himself, and then picks up a roughing penalty. That's both off the box. Marchessault definitely got his money's worth for his 2 minutes by absolutely giving the business to his opponent there. 2 minutes each, though. 4-on-4 hockey is how this will unfold, and it's going to be Brady Shea picking up his first goal as a Nashville Predator on a rebound putback during the 4-on-4, crashes to the slot area, gets rewarded, picks up the loose change, and puts it back in the net. The Predators tie this game up for the second time, this time at 3 apiece. At 18-12 of the second period, it's Schwartz off to the box, 2 minutes for hooking. This is going to create a 4-on-3 power play in favor of the Nashville Predators, a unique and uncommon power play right here. Decord would come up with a save on Stamkos's one-timer, then Decord would come up with a save on Forsberg, not once but twice before the end of this power play. The Nashville Predators unable to break through. We hit the end of the second period. We've got a tie game, 3-3, 20 minutes to decide it. The Predators out shooting the Seattle Kraken 25-24. We flip over to the backside of the sheet and we start the third period, a minute and 19 seconds in, and it is Schwartz for Seattle picking up his first goal of the season. Is a backhand finish at close range. The D stretched again on this play right here for the Nashville Predators. That has been a problem so far early in the season. Seattle Kraken now back on top, regaining their lead, up 4-3 at 2:45 of the third. It's Eberle picking up his third goal of the season. A turnover on the half wall leads to an easy goal from the slot area. 5-3 now in favor of the Kraken at 2:58 of the third period. It's Decord coming with a save on Shea, 4:24. Decord continues his hard work. Another save on Dante Fabro. 5:43. Saros comes up with a save on Tanev. 7:20. Saros a save on Beniers. But at the 11:57 mark of the third period, yes, we're in the third period, McCann gets his second goal of the game. It comes off of the rush. This gives the Seattle Kraken a 6-3 lead now at Bridgestone Arena. At 17:56 of the third, Larson gets his first of the season's empty net goal for the Kraken, making it 7-3. That is right. The Nashville Predators give up 7 goals on home ice against the Seattle Kraken, falling 7-3. That is the final. The Kraken outshoot the Nashville Predators 36-34. This was a tied game at 3 apiece with 20 minutes to go. The Nashville Predators end up losing the third period, standalone period, 4-0. Falling 7-3 total in this game. This is an incredibly tough result for the Nashville Predators, who are struggling now 0-3 to start the season and definitely looking for some much more consistent hockey. There were moments in this one, but the Nashville Predators aren't able to keep that consistency going, and the Seattle Kraken just absolutely buried them on their home rink in the third period. We've got so much more coming up on this game. We've got box score, we've got analysis, and more coming up on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm Tracy, owner-operator of Strong Style Fitness. And that's me and my training assistant, Rizzo. And we are here to bring you fitness that meets you where you are by offering circuit classes, bar-inspired classes, Tabata workouts, boot camps, guided stretching, and more, all taught by a certified personal trainer, me. To learn more, go to our website, strongstylefit.com. Subscribe on YouTube at Strong Style Fitness. Follow on social media at Strong Style Fit. But most importantly, let's get you moving. It doesn't matter if it's your first workout or you've been doing it for years. Strong Style Fitness has the workout that meets you on your journey and helps you along the path to a happier, healthier life. I understand where you've been, what you were going through, and where you were going, and I want to take you there. We'll see you on the mat. Mwah.
Welcome back in Renegades of Puck podcast. Look, I tried to make it as quick as possible. That third period was very brutal. Through 40, it was tied. Whoever wins the final 20 wins the game, and the Seattle Kraken won the final 20 by a score of 4-0, finishing off that game 7-3. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. Let's do some analysis. And there are some things that I can say that are positive, and then it's going to trend negative fairly quickly. Saros, 28 out of 34, 6 goals against for the starting netminder of the Nashville Predators. He wasn't great, but you know what? The team in front of him was awful. It's hard to do much of anything. In the first start of the season, he had to be absolutely perfect because the Preds didn't score a single goal, and that's incredibly difficult for a goaltender in the NHL. And this was another one of those nights where just turnovers in his own end, right in front of him. Too many players right around his crease. Easy deflections, and deflections are one of the most difficult things for goaltenders to deal with. So players being open, players getting in position, players getting deflection, the Predators turning the puck over, the Predators D seemingly unaware of players getting behind them. It was overall just an incredibly difficult night to be a goaltender, looking out in front of him and seeing a team performing that deficiently in so many different areas of team ice hockey play. Moving on. Michael McCarron scores a goal in this game, but was a -4. The reason I labeled him as first is because, well, I made the notation when the Predators were struggling on offense again through the first period and then finally picked up that goal from Michael McCarron when they finally got things rolling at 14:47 of the first period. I made the notation that, wow, it wasn't Stamkos, O'Reilly, Forsberg, Marchessault, it wasn't Yossi, it wasn't any of the biggest name players on the Nashville Predators to break through on the offense at Bridgestone Arena. It was Michael McCarron. Now, Michael McCarron, because he scores one of the goals in the first comeback of the first period, goes ahead and gets the intermission interview. And being a -4 overall in this game, you could tell that his intermission comments were trending in this direction. He was incredibly frustrated, and he was polite in saying, I appreciate you asking the questions you're asking and, putting him over for scoring a goal and putting over his line mates for doing good things. But being a -4, he was getting torched out there defensively on the rink by the Seattle Kraken, and he knew it in the first intermission when he was giving the interview. I'm not a fan of in-game interviews, but every once in a while you do catch a real nugget of insight. Michael McCarron knew he was up against it there, even though he had a goal in that first period. Very, very tough for him in this game as he was getting beaten up on by the Seattle Kraken. And it was getting to a point, honestly, where Coach Burnett needed to protect that fourth line. They were simply getting run around on the rink. Tommy Novak picks up a goal in this game, his second of the season that leads the Nashville Predators through the first couple of games. And you know what? He's been noticeable. I like to say Tommy Novak, all he does is make plays. Well, so far he does have 2 goals. He's had other opportunities around the net. He's had good offensive zone time at this moment. Tommy Novak needs the rest of the players around him to become more noticeable, though, and then Tommy Novak's game could become more effective. But again, I think he's been all right in the early part of the season, in a season where we're struggling to find positive things to discuss and positive things to point out. Tommy Novak is at least a small bright spot. Let's talk about Brady Shea getting his first goal as a Nashville Predator. Welcome to the Nashville Predators. It was a rebound, cleanup, and some jam during a 4-on-4. He also had 5 shots on goal in this game, 22:51 total time on ice. That was number 2 as far as defenseman. Added some good special teams play, power play, and also penalty kill. The penalty kill for the Preds successful in this game. So Brady Shea starting to mesh a little bit easier than perhaps some of the forwards are. Stamkos, Marchessault, no doubt they're out there giving it their all and they're trying, but so far they're not making any of the plays, and neither one of them managed to score a goal. Brady Shea, the first of the 3 major signings going into this season to pick up a goal. Now, let's talk about Marchessault. You know what? There was something I just loved about it. I'm waiting for the production. I'm waiting. I see it coming. I see the redirect in the slot. I see him getting to the hard areas. I see him working competitively in the corners, going to the net, doing all the things that you expect to do, and putting the puck on net as well. Marchessault in this game had 4 shots on goal, but what I really wanted to point out was the intensity. When he took the penalty for roughing to make it a 4-on-4, the Predators scored on that 4-on-4. I just wanted to point out. But when he took that penalty, it was because a player took a liberty with him. A boarding call was going to be awarded. The Predators were going to go on a power play, but Jonathan Marchessault got up and protected himself. As a matter of fact, he got all his money's worth for that 2 minutes. I almost thought he was going to end up getting 4 minutes for roughing. By the way, he got up, wrapped the player up, slammed him into the glass, took him down to the ice, continued working him over down on the ice for several seconds. Jonathan Marchessault showing a lot of intensity, as they mentioned on the broadcast, trying to change the tone, trying to change the energy, change the direction, and he was able to do that for a little while. And at the end of the second period, the Predators were right there tied with 20 minutes to go. Marchessault, I love the intensity, waiting for the production to begin. I think it is going to be there. He does have 2 assists so far through the first couple of games as a Nashville Predator, but you can just see there's so much more that he is just on the cusp of starting to break through. I think once Marchessault really gets going, it's going to be a special thing to watch. But not a lot of good happening out there, and that's what prompted today's practice. This is the day after. We had to wait for the Edmonton Oilers late night game to wrap up, so we went ahead and recorded the next morning. So the Nashville Predators have canceled practice on today. They will be holding a closed-door team-only meeting. So we're 3 games into the season, and the Predators are already at closed-door team meeting status and practice being canceled. We'll have to get more details detail. We'll have to follow along with that storyline as more information comes out of that. But there's just simply not a lot of good things happening out there. I've seen a lot of people talking about how excited they were about the season. And yes, the Predators signing Stamkos, signing Marchessault, signing Shea, all added to elevated expectations coming into this season. Last season going in, it was a team full of youth that was expected to grow at a consistent pace, and hopefully they'll get there during the build. Now, you add those three players who are Barry Trott's term here, proven winners, certainly well-known veterans from the last couple of years around the league, coming from successful programs in Carolina, Tampa Bay, and Las Vegas, coming to the Nashville Predators. I think there's a little bit of standing around and watching, waiting for those players to get the job done, and perhaps not everybody is participating as hard as they can yet. I would imagine the theme of the closed-door meeting is going to be something along those lines, because so far there have been a number of these Nashville Predators that you normally expect to be very highly noticeable. They have not been at this moment in time. So not a lot of good happening out there on the ice through 3 games. A brief spurt there where the Preds came back down from 2-0 in the first period, then came back down from 3-2, tied the game, but then got run out of their own rink with 4 goals against in the third period. And it was even uglier than that. The Predators, frankly, did not exist during that third period. They were wiped out of their own rink by the Seattle Kraken. So we'll follow up on that closed-door team meeting, cancellation of practice, and see if that leads to anything else. Let's hear from our good friends Stripe Digital real quick, and then we'll come back. We'll get the good cold hard numbers under the box score. We'll get another update from the Spartans in Clarksville, this time taking on the Battle Creek Colonels. We'll do all of that coming up in the next few minutes right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
The digital environment can be quite intimidating, time-consuming, and cumbersome, especially with all those other areas that need attention at your business, and that's why Stripe Digital Solutions is here to help. I know, because that's exactly what Stripe Digital Solutions did for me and the Renegades of Puck. From designing my home website and helping me create my merchandise to special event posters, brand building, and social media management. But it's not just that, it's so much more. Stripe Digital Solutions has helped me every step of the way, from startup to full-time operation. Stripe Digital Solutions has been there to assist and advise every single step of the journey. In today's fast-paced world, the path to success is having a strong digital partner, and nobody is better in the trenches than Brandy and Stripe Digital Solutions. Get the solution before it's even a problem with Stripe Digital Solutions.
Welcome back in Renegades of Puck podcast. Time for the good cold hard numbers right here. Your goal scorers for this game: Michael McCarron, Tommy Novak, and Brady Shea. That's right, those noted high-scoring Nashville Predators. Not Philip Forsberg, not Gus Nyquist, not Ryan O'Reilly, not Steven Stamkos. I could keep going, but as you can tell, it's getting a little bit frustrating not seeing those names in the goal-scoring category. So your goal scorers that do deserve the stick taps tonight: McCarron, Novak, and Brady Shea with his first goal as a Nashville Pro. On the assist side of things, Luke Evangelista picks up his second assist of the season. Philip Forsberg has one in this game. Jankowski with a slick pass in this one. Really, really good setup by Mark Jankowski. O'Reilly picks up his first. Parson picks up his first. Carrier picks up his first assist of the season. Now, went the shots on goal category. Philip Forsberg led the way with 5. Brady Shea also had 5. Jonathan Marchessault had 4 shots on goal. In the block shots category, this is one of the most absent of statistics category for the Predators in this entire game. Alex Carey with 2 block shots led the way, and you know what? There's only a spattering of block shots on the other players across this box score. Only 8 total block shots by the Nashville Predators. 6 blocked shots that weren't by Alex Carrier, and the Preds gave up 7 goals total in this game. So 2 block shots by Alex Carrier led the way. In the physical component of things, Luzon, no surprise right there, 6 hits, leads the way. Luke Shen also adds 4 to that. Philip Forsberg also has 4. Jonathan Marchessault, just mention him, 3 hits in this one. Cole Smith also with 3 hits in this game. When it comes to your time on ice leaders, seeing a little bit more balance. That first game of the season, the numbers were just so far askewed. In this game for the forwards, 22-29 by Ryan O'Reilly led the way, 20-27 by Philip Forsberg, and 18-30 by Gus Nyquist. Those are your time on ice leaders here for this game. Again, Michael McCarron and only 10-14 total time on ice played in this game, but a -4, even though he did have that 1 goal. On the defensive side of things, time on ice leaders, the Captain Romaniosi, no surprise here, 27-02 total time on ice. Brady Shea, his minutes are now creeping up, 22-51. You have to anticipate some defense defensive pair shifting coming up here very soon now that Brady Shea seems to be getting more acclimated to the Nashville Predators and seems to be getting more into that game shape to go back to those normal minutes that he played for several years there with the Carolina Hurricanes. When the power play for the Nashville Predators game was 0 for 2 and on the season 1 for 11, and frankly is one of the more disappointing storylines through 3 games. The power play time on ice leaders for this game: 305 for Philip Forsberg and for Ryan O'Reilly, 253 for Steven Stamkos and for Roman Josi. None of those minutes led to anything. 145 for penalty kill time for Michael McCarron, 206 for Cole Smith, 214 for Roman Josi, 146 for Jeremy Lazar. The PK in this game was perfect, 2-4-2. Face-off winning percentage, 58.7% for the Preds. That's another good number. Face-offs have been so far pretty good for the Predators. After all, starting with the puck means you start the play with possession, and that is always a positive. So the Predators at 58.7% on the face-off winning percentage in this game. Block shots, only 8 mentioned it. That's critically low, criminally low if you really want to get to it. 8 block shots for an entire NHL game. That is just not good enough. 28 total hits. That number's ticking up from the last couple of games. Good physical components in this game. Takeaways, 5, giveaways 15. The Preds have been on the underside of takeaway giveaway equation every game so far this season. This time again by double digits. A little better than last game. Not the 25 giveaways that they had, but still 15 giveaways means just reckless, careless possession of the puck, and that's not going to get it done. And you see Saros, a really difficult night with a team underperforming in front of him. 28 out of 34, total of 6 goals against, 21 even strength saves, 5 power play saves, 2 shorthanded saves, a total save percentage of .824 for this one individual game. Want to take you to Clarksville one more time. The Red River Spartans welcomed in the brand new division rival to the Great Lakes Division, the Battle Creek Colonels, for a 2-game series at the Ford Ice Center in Clarksville, just right next door to the F&M Bank Arena. We sure do appreciate your feedback, your comments, and your appreciation of me covering Red River Spartans hockey and of the recent highlights packages we put in there that were against the Columbus Mavericks. Big 3-game homestand coming up this next weekend against the Toledo Cherokee of the Great Lakes Division, one of the best teams in the USPHL Premier. But let's take you back to the Red River Spartans versus the Battle Creek Colonels. This is night 1 of a 2-game series coming to you right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
For the Spartans, showcase weekend last weekend, 2-0-1, coming back with a total of 5 of 8 points. Lost in a shootout to the Tampa Bay Juniors, beat the Atlanta Mad Hatters, also defeated the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Knights, and fell to the Potomac Patriots. Puck is down here at the Ford Ice Center in Clarksville, Tennessee. Your Red River Spartans back on home ice. Lewis uses his own net as a shield, passes to his defensive partner, and Spartans looking to break out of their own end will have to reverse course. Lewis now will choose to skate it up to the blue line and send it out to Templeton. Templeton to the face-off circle. Could not get the shot to go, knocked the defender's stick out of their hand, but then it goes to the front of the net in the low slot area, and the Spartans are on the board. Cervenek gets his first goal of the game. Spartans lead the Colonels 1-0, 17:28 to go in the game. Nico Cervenek with the goal. Towards the slot area, one-timer attempt will not go. There was a lot of traffic in front right there. That would have been a good scoring opportunity. Suss uses the shoulder, puts it into his man, and helps free the puck for the penalty killers. The Spartans now clear the puck. Huge crowd here tonight at the Ford Ice Center, Clarksville. Only our second home weekend in our brand new city as the Red River Spartans here in Clarksville, Tennessee. Just about 45 minutes outside of Nashville. Spartans with a good opportunity right there. Rebound would not go. Suss over to Durrett. Durrett looking to shoot from the top of the circle. Stick checked away. Puck goes into the corner. Big hit right there. Jesse James Aitken tried to take his man out. Now he gets the puck back, tries to slide it into the blue paint. Colonel's able to take it away. Templeton turns it over for the Spartans. And then Wharton goes in hard on his man right there at the red line. C.J. Davidson going to be able to carry the puck into the neutral zone, over the blue line, the offensive zone. He'll look for a shooting solution, looking to send it backdoor to Gonzalez. They had the play. Good job by the Battle Creek Colonels defender breaking that up. Spartans not exactly looking like a shorthanded club right now. Davidson gets to the puck first. He'll shoot it. It'll go off the outside of the iron, then the glass, and over to the half wall. Battle Creek will look to break out of their own defensive end, but they have some trouble. Turn it over to Davidson. Davidson scores! C.J. Davidson pounces short-handed as the Spartans were giving the Colonels power play unit all kinds of trouble. Puck stolen. Davidson in alone. A partial breakaway from just a few feet away. He converts for the shorthanded goal, putting the Spartans ahead 2-0. Very quickly, want to send our best to Coach Liam Tully. Coach is not with the Red River Spartans tonight behind the bench. Behind the bench tonight is GM Zach Sabatini, also Coach Beach, managing things. We look forward to having Coach Tully back behind the bench tomorrow night for the Spartans. Just want to send our best to Coach and his entire family. Big collision right there. Templeton goes down. Another big collision. Wharton involved for the Spartans in that one. Battle Creek wins the faceoff, gets a good shot on goal. Young has to use the pads. Oh, Young again. That shot through some heavy traffic, and Young finds a way to track it. That is great tracking right there. They were able to change the defense right there. And a big hit as we hit the end of the power play for the Colonels. On the continuation, that shot is blocked. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey. Templeton towards the net. Wiles comes away with another save. Templeton gets rubbed out behind the net, and we've got players coming together after the whistle. And for the goalie, they're holding up a picture of the goalie behind the goalie, and he's actually staring at his own picture now while he's drinking water. That has got to be one of the more unique experiences in the USPHL. I wonder if it's shocking for the goaltender Wiles to turn around and see a poster of himself. He's looking again just to make sure. Lot of extra room out there, and the Colonels take the shot from straightaway out high, putting the puck into the net on the 4-on-3 power play. That's going to be number 15, Morgan Postelli for the Battle Creek Colonels. Spartans 2, Colonels 1, and they'll go ahead and collect that puck for a first goal situation. Puck grabbed by the captain, Nate Fricky, thrown over to the bench to Tristan Jensen, the head coach, who will put that one in his back pocket, and they'll put some tape on it later. A lot of work to be done here. 13-19 to go in regulation. We're at 11:05 to go here in regulation. Battle Creek Colonels have come to Clarksville tonight to give the Spartans everything they've got on flow hockey. Spartans getting some good zone possession right here and wearing out the defense. Templeton swoops in, sends it to Davidson. Davidson fires into the glove of Wiles. Davidson had time, had space, and a really strong release coming from the top of the faceoff circle, but Wiles able to come away with that one again. Spartans looking for the tic-tac-toe. It would not go, so they hold, reset, regroup, and Owen Ingersoll will hold it at the blue line. Send over to Gonzalez. Gonzalez sends it down, and the Spartans are going to convert on the power play. With 1:19 remaining in regulation, the Red River Spartans, led by Thomas Durrett, on the power play, put the puck in the net and make it 3-1 on their 50th shot of the game. Spartans maintain possession. Davidson holds it, skates towards the middle, looks for the shot, just barely over the top of the crossbar, finds the glass. Spartans again maintain possession. We head to 10 seconds to go in this game. Owen Ingersoll holds the puck, sends it across. Spartans get the shot by Gonzalez. Wiles comes away with the save. Spartans maintain possession, and that's going to do it for this game tonight here in Clarksville. Your Red River Spartans 3, Battle Creek Colonels 1. Shots on goal, Red River 54, Battle Creek 19. And the Spartans move to 3-0 on home ice here in Clarksville. Stick taps from the team, and they'll head on off the ice. Charlie Saunier, the voice of the Red River Spartans, signing off. You're watching Red River Spartans hockey on Flow Hockey. Good night.
Welcome back in. We sure do appreciate you checking that out. Spartans hockey is something I am incredibly passionate about. We have 21 total home games this season, 19 of them taking place in the Clarksville area, 2 of them taking place in the Bellevue area, and tickets are still available. New merchandise is available. The Spartans done a great job of transitioning from Nolensville to Clarksville this season, and they are packing the house. Come on out and check it out up there in Clarksville. We'd love to host you for a game. If you come out to a game, let me know. I'd be more than happy to give you a quick tour of the facility, show you around a little bit, and let you come and hang out in the perch for a couple of minutes. So let me know if you're coming on up to Clarksville, you're coming to check out a Spartans game. We sure would love to have you out there. All right, let's wrap this episode up. This is show number 914, and we're already at closed door, canceled practice status, only a week into the season. This is highly irregular, but I am glad that the Nashville Predators are going ahead and addressing it immediately. There's been nothing that has been very exciting about this Nashville Predators team. Not the offense, not the defense, not the goaltending, not the physical component of things. Not a single thing through 3 games has been truly impressive or what the fan base expected coming into the season. Again, you sign players with the title of proven winners before their names. You give them high contracts, and everyone knows their recent track records. The expectations go up. The Predators were a playoff team a season ago without those players, so it's easy to say how the expectations would rise adding those particular players. Also, the long-term re-signing of UC Saros gives the franchise even a little bit more juice. So, for the Predators already being closed-door status meetings and canceled practices, well, I'm glad that they are getting ahead of it. I'm glad they're dealing with it, and I'm hopeful that the leadership of the team stood up in that room and just said what needs to be said. Just be honest with the group. No one's playing particularly great right now. Everyone could bring a little bit more hustle, a little bit more effort, a little bit more jam, and yes, even a little bit more skill. But the skill is the final component. The skill is the cherry on top. It's the hard work. It's the hustle. It's the dedication to each and every shift that you're out there. It's the dedication to the details. Look, across the landscape in the NHL, the details don't exist at this moment in time. After the first week, the scoreboard is just abysmal. It looks more like football scores, to be honest with you, than it does hockey scores. The defense and the goaltending and the structure and the systems across the league are not there yet. This is not exclusive to your Nashville Predators. This is a league-wide trend starting this season off. Things will start to tighten up. The details will start to come for the Nashville Predators. So how quickly can they reset after 3 games? How quickly can they reset now and seize the opportunity ahead of them? Edmonton, Detroit, Boston, 3 games at Bridgestone Arena before going on the road next Friday in Chicago, and coming back home on a back-to-back against Columbus. Tough couple of games ahead for the Nashville Predators. There's no easy games in the NHL. There's no give-me games in the NHL. The Preds are going to have to understand that. They're going to have to get out there, and they're going to have to bring the no half-step and effort to a much higher compete level. That's going to do it for episode number 914. Appreciate you guys jumping in the trenches and joining the Renegades of Puck right here on this episode. I'm your host and Captain Crazy Charlie Saunier. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your viewership, and the most important thing of all, I appreciate each and every one of you. Stick taps, love, and respect.